So NBA champion and MVP Kevin Durant of the Golden State Warriors had a lot to say in regards to the Golden State Warriors potentially visiting the White House and on Donald Trump, of course, being the president. Even though the White House haven't reached out to the Golden State Warriors organization yet, it is a theme each year, annually, for each respective sports team when they visit the nation's capital to go and visit the White House, meet the president, yada, yada. Here's what he said via Rolling Stone. Quote, "I don't agree with what he agrees with," as in Donald Trump, of course. "So my voice is going to be heard by not doing that. That's just me personally, but if I know my guys well enough, they'll all agree with me." They have previously, and I'll get into a few of the players that have been vocal about it, not only just on the Golden State Warriors, but also in sports. As he continued, "I definitely want to be the voice of where I come from and people who have come from my neighborhood and deal with oppression. For us to move forward, we need more athletes and people of power and influence to come out and speak. It's great to see a lot of athletes coming together and trying to direct a positive path for a lot of the kids and a lot of the people in this country who look up to us. It's huge for us. It's huge for sports. It's huge for the influence we have because we're leaders at the end of the day. It feels good to see my brothers in the NBA and across sports speaking out," which I completely agree with. Now, we have seen the silent protests like Colin Kaepernick, and we have seen what a non-silent protest does in the form of violence, as we saw in Charlottesville. So it really puts into perspective a silent protest with what Colin Kaepernick is doing because he feels that people are being oppressed, which they are, and the arrest rate is higher for minorities, which factually it is. And we've seen what, well, the far right and the alt-right have thought of in terms of protests. Getting as violent, as hateful, as bloody, as derogatory, as abusive, as verbal as they possibly can. They should be shunned for what they did. Now, here's the other part of this. Many have stood up and opposing Kevin Durant by saying, wait. You have this opportunity to go visit the White House, which is a sacred place, and can you believe it? I can't believe that you're not going, and I think it's a shame, yada, yada. So Brit McHenry, who was fired by ESPN, and after being fired, has said that she wants to become a political pundit and also one to represent conservatives, even with #conservative, as you're seeing right here. She also tweeted at one point to Kevin Durant's "I don't respect who's in the White House" with, quote, or tweet rather, "I don't respect that you joined a super team, but I still watched." Which, when you think about it, what the fuck does that possibly mean, Britt? What are you saying? So, here's the best part about it. In June, she tweet, quote, "Hard to hate on Durant even if you want to." Come on, Britt, at least be consistent. Nonetheless, Brit McHenry and Kevin Durant exchanged tweets. Here's what Britt said. "If issued fairly, is divisiveness in the USA the new celebrity and platform to come together? Great leaders meet, not shun invitations to the White House," which KD tweeted, "Boo-hoo, sad story, ... keep telling me more, sleeping emoji." Pretty solid. Then Britt tweets, "Okay, let's discuss how a successful man such as yourself can show unity meeting with White House just 20 minutes from PG County. Your presence can inspire." And Kevin Durant goes, "By doing the opposite, I am inspiring more people." Oh! So not only could it not get sweeter for him doing that, but I leave you with, at least for a moment, with a tweet by Norm Kelly, which shows giving the L. That is exactly what Brit McHenry received, and that's exactly what many others are going to receive when they try and say, "Oh, well, wait a minute. You should go, and it's an honor to be there and a privilege to be there." Yes, it is a privilege to be there. It would be a privilege to go to the White House. However, when it is this big of a fucking example of the divide between the country and how somebody is backing Nazis, Kevin Durant should speak out on his platform the same way Colin Kaepernick spoke out on his platform, the same way that even Stephen Curry in June spoke out on his platform. When he said this via Twitter, that and in this video, that, you know what, we haven't necessarily decided yet, but my stance hasn't changed. And we know that it hasn't changed because he said to Kevin Plank, when Kevin Plank said that it could be a real asset, Donald Trump, that's when Stephen Curry said, "If you remove the ET, I agree," which we all who are just sane people are saying as well. So the question is, and I know Francis and Jason discussed this previously, should athletes be outspoken? Yeah, they should. Tim Thomas, former Bruins goalie, when the Bruins won the Stanley Cup, he didn't go because he disagreed with Obama. Now, granted, he caught some flack as well as Kevin Durant is. It's just the nature of the beast when you don't go. You have a right to not go the same way that people have a right to, unfortunately, like Brit McHenry and many other trolls, they have the right to criticize you for doing that and coming to that conclusion. You stand up for what you believe in, period. Now, granted, this period of time has shown us your true colors, whether it's the presidency or a citizen or a friend or what have you. We have learned so much about each other through this time. We really, really have. And Kevin Durant, I believe, with that last tweet, saying, I am inspiring more people by doing the opposite in the inverse form of me reading that. It's true. Kevin Durant should use his platform. When is he possibly, his star going to be brighter than right now by winning an NBA championship, finals MVP, and averaging 35 a game against LeBron James probably 90% of the time, because LeBron guarded 90% of the time going up against LeBron James and LeBron guarding him in the finals. This is exactly the right time. You know why? The same with Colin Kaepernick, and the same with Malcolm Jenkins, and the same with Chris Long, who put his arm around Malcolm Jenkins as Jenkins held up his right fist and right arm in the air. This is exactly the time. This should not be a time where you go home and you think about what to do and you game plan. No. We've tried that in the past. It hasn't worked. This is the time to be outspoken. So I commend Kevin Durant for speaking out. I commend Andre Iguodala for saying, quote, hell no, when it comes to taking part in a visit to the White House. I commend the 6 New England Patriots as well, who skipped the White House. And it's happened previously. Matt Burke of the Baltimore Ravens skipped when Barack Obama was there. Manny Ramirez skipped when George Bush was there. It is their own personal opinion, but we have not seen this sort of divide publicly and under an intense microscope in a long, long time, so much so that the New Yorker and many others are showing these covers of Donald Trump. The fact is, and I've said this many times, Kevin Durant is, in a way, showing a form of protest for what he believes in. That is what protests are. They are supposed to make us think. I have said this many times. They're supposed to make us think. They are supposed to make us uncomfortable. They're supposed to have you stand up for what you believe in and going through with it because you believe in it. And I believe that he is inspiring more. And I hope that there are more in the NFL, in Major League Baseball, in the National Basketball Association, who are protesting this form of presidency that we have right now, because it is a damn shame what we have, and we certainly deserve better. Let me know all of your thoughts. Get at me in the comment section below, tweet me at Strom, and subscribe to 2IT Sports.